do you want to talk about some epic fails?
Yes.
I don't know if this is an epic fail. It's you know, it's somebody leaving. It's somebody moving on.
Epic
Tom,
fail.
yeah, epic fail. Tom Ford. He's retiring. He dropped an his last collection, which isn't even like a collection. It's an archival drop of, I guess, his favorite pieces from over the years of his eponymous label. But he sold to Estee Lauder for 2.8 billion with a B dollars. So there's that.
Blink,
Um,
blink.
I don't know, dude. Do you think we should give the quick lowdown on Tom Ford here, and then talk about his exit?
Tom Ford is an American fashion designer
Mm-hmm.
who is known for his brand Tom Ford.
Yes,
And
I love that the
okay, so
succinctness of it.
Tom Ford studied art history at NYU to get his undergraduate. When he went to get his master's degree, he attended Parsons School of Design in
Oh,
Manhattan.
the Tim Gunn School,
Uh-huh. The one where they have the big statue of him up front
right?
and it says "Make it work."
Right.
Uh, at the time, Tom Ford remembers is quoted in saying, "I spent more time thinking about what the people were wearing rather than the buildings because he was studying architecture, but he didn't want to, it turns out. And instead, he would try to do internships and just tell people he was studying at Parsons, and they assumed it was a fashion degree, but it was really an architecture degree.
So
TLDR,
he was like taking after Virgil Abloh.
yeah, big Virgil Abloh
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah,
Okay.
he was like, I want to be like Virgil Abloh when I grow up.
Yeah.
And that's why he did that. And Tom Ford made his first real big splash when he was appointed the creative director of Gucci. At the time, it was a flagging brand. Gucci, when was this? Like the late 90s, early 2000s? I'm not even sure. But Gucci wasn't the same brand that we know today. It
And
was.
if you want to know more about this, incredibly depicted in the film House of Gucci. So, boof.
Ooh, burp. I thought they
Mhm.
did not include Tom Ford in that movie.
No, they did.
They did,
They
really.
did. He even
That's
they did the audition and the first runway show and the
That's
yeah.
interesting
Hmm.
because maybe I should watch relevant movies to like this field because like for a period of time Gucci like the company was kind of upset with Tom Ford. They were
Hmm.
kind of like I don't like him. He wasn't
Hmm.
apparently Gucci has some kind of museum, I don't know, in Milan or something,
Mm,
and for a long time they didn't have anything from Tom Ford in there
really?
deliberately. Yeah.
So
Um
here's one. The movie obviously not good. You can go to Rotten Tomatoes and find that out. Like
oh
as a
really?
movie, it's not good.
I thought people
Um,
enjoyed it.
but there's some interesting stuff in there like that I honestly didn't know. If you're to believe the movie at all, it definitely feels like there was a kind of tug of war within the house with like the heritage side and the fashion side, you
I
know?
think that that's real.
Yeah.
Also, I think that it is real that Lady Gaga
Hmm.
is a member of the Gucci family. Like I assume that's all documentarian
Yes. Yeah.
stuff.
Fly on the wall style. Yep.
So needless to say, Tom Ford was appointed the creative director of Gucci and he crushed it. He took a brand that had lost its luster and he injected his own joie de vivre, but he
Hmm.
made Gucci essentially feel luxury and desirable again. One
And
of
like
the big
money isn't everything, but you can the story is told through
money
the fact that even now Tom Ford Gucci stuff is marked up like crazy. Like if you're going through the eras at resale of
yeah.
Gucci stuff, Tom Ford stuff still super valuable, then dip throughout, the years after
Yep.
and then back up in modern times.
Yeah. And kind of his aesthetic that he established was very glossy,
Mhm.
very kind of like sexualized and very premium luxury feeling, which in a lot of ways he basically transplanted in his namesake brand. So Tom Ford, the brand, has been known for its like glossy aesthetic.
Mhm.
It's like sexual advertising, and it's a very luxury feel in price
Yeah.
tag. So that's the dude. That's the guy. He's an
That's the guy.
iconic American designer and iconic American director.
So he's leaving. That's the end of the story. He's
That is the end.
leaving. And I feel like there are a million directions we can go here. We've been kind of, you know, doom posting about the recession upcoming and the indicators within the industry of that. You could go there. You could talk about, you know, is it right for him to exit? Should he go somewhere else? Should he do other things? You know?
I mean, the thing is, and we were talking a little bit about this beforehand. Sorry, guys, I'm dying. Let me aside.
Literally. Yeah,
Aside,
we're starting a
I
GoFundMe.
still don't have a job. I'm still deeply depressed. Like before I came on, I was like, Kelly, I hate my life. But then we turn the cameras on. I'm like, hi
The
everyone.
camera fixes everything, okay?
So I apologize for any coughing or any you know. What was I saying? Oh, Tom Ford. So Estee Lauder's buying Tom Ford. He is hypothetically leaving the brand as the creative director. He's no longer going to be responsible. What is Tom Ford going to do now?
Right.
He's like a middle-aged man. He's very hot. And I mean aesthetically, like he's a hot guy.
Sure.
He has money. I mean, he's kind of done it all. He was like we talk a lot today about like this kind of musical chairs with designers and how like, oh, a hot designer will like revive a brand. He was essentially the first to do that. He was like the first guy to do that. And ever since Tom Ford, they've replicated that process.
Yeah.
So he's been like creative director of Gucci. He's been creative director of his own brand. James Bond wears his suits.
True.
Which is, kind of peak.
But then you've got the other side, as Suchio says, I still need another Tom Ford movie. Also a film director, a very
acclaimed,
quite well respected one. Like his stuff came out, they're kind of like prestige movies. They get big stars. They're pretty well reviewed.
He get but didn't one or both of his movies get nominated for like Best Picture?
I think so. At least
I think
one of them.
So. And it's like, I mean, the dude has pretended to be an architect, pretended to be a fashion designer. When he pretended to a movie director, you would assume somebody who's good at one thing isn't really going to be good at another thing.
Sure.
Like Michael Jordan tried playing baseball. He was not good at it. Tom Ford tried directing films, and apparently he's very good at it.
You know what? Is that what's happening? Is he being like sanctioned? Like, did he maybe not pay some taxes or something and he's going to jail? But everyone's kind of agreed to keep quiet. Like, hey, just like Michael Jordan, he wouldn't play basketball. You're going to just retire for a couple years, okay? While you serve your sentence, pay off Uncle Sam, then we'll bring you on back over, That's
totally possible. I don't know. I mean, like, it could be like Tom Ford's like, I'm done with the fashion game. I'm just going to be direct movies.
Yeah.
It's also like, and this is something I think we've talked about on the show before. What compels, like, what drives people who have succeeded?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've never succeeded.
Either. But what I've noticed, like, all of these people are like hyper high powered, type A driven. Like, it's the only way generally that you get to that level. And what I've noticed,
they don't smoke. They do everything right. They're always employed.
They're driven by power, Christian. Yeah. And what I've noticed from the few times I've come across like hyper high powered people like that is that that's what they care about. And if they lose it, they, it's not the same for them. So he's been to the top of the mountain. Yes. By our upcoming podcast guest,
doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you've ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero needs his theme music. No one man should have all that power. This is a audio.
This is what we do.
Podcast.
It is an audio show, so you got to give the people a little something.
I gotta
for the drive to work,
Yeah, I've got perfect pitch, and I've got a flow. I've got a flow. I spit straight bars.
So if I had to guess, I think there's two directions people like this go. Either he goes and tries to climb a different mountain, such as film, and tries to like really crush that. Or the other thing I've noticed people like this do is they're like, I'm so good that I'm gonna start back from nothing and get
Yeah,
to the top.
like they're like Undercover Boss, or like that
Yeah,
one thing where it's
exactly.
like, I'm a billionaire and I'm gonna show how easy it is to be rich by
Can I
starting
go?
over.
I have to go on like a super tangent right now. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Sorry, audience.
A person that I worked with was on an episode of Undercover Boss back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. He was an executive at a company that I worked for. I knew him well, but after I watched this episode, I could not look at him with a straight face anymore because there's a scene in the episode where he gets locked inside of a cooler, like a food freezer, and the
Oh
guy
my
that
God.
he's working with, his name is Ephraim, and he's inside the freezer just going, Ephraim, Ephraim, because he's stuck. So,
Damn.
you know, I guess that's what you
Sometimes,
don't want if you're
sometimes power
doing
isn't
that.
everything. I mean,
Yes.
I guess I agree with you, Killian, because I assume that, like, if Estee Lauder bought his brand, and like the fragrance brand and the fashion brand or whatever,
Mhm.
they spent like $3 billion on it.
Mhm.
Tom Ford must own a significant portion of his namesake label. Let's just say he has an additional hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Very
You
believable.
don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything ever again.
Yes.
But I don't know. People don't take advantage of that. They just keep on going.
But I mean, I think basically, to put an end to this, I think we'll know pretty soon, one way or the other. He's not going to sit still. I don't think he's either going to say, get an announcement like, "Hey, I'm going to start this brand or work for this brand," or I'm announcing that I've cast this big star for my next movie. You know what I mean? It's we're going to find out soon enough what he's doing.
No doubt. But that's the Tom Ford news. If
That's
you
Tom
like
Ford
that Tom
news.
Ford news, let us know in the comments down below.
Hey, it'll be a clip on the channel, so you just watch it again, even if you're here live. Watch the clip.
And also, as an aside, commenters, let me know what you guys thought of last episode. We basically we let two randos off the street hijack our podcast.
We did that. That did happen, and I think, for my part, I found it very interesting. It was by far the hardest episode I've ever had to cut into clips because it was just kind of a big, a big wad of back and forth ideas. But I thought it was interesting.
I mean, once again thank you to our participants. They were delightful.